Okay.
Covering some important.
All right.
All right, Matt's ready. Jose, you can take it away.
Sure. Today, April 24th, 2024, at 5:30 p.m. For order. Join me for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I guess I'll go for a roll call.
Yeah, okay, John Berry.
Here.
David Hayward is excused. Leanna Hahn is excused. Philip Reed, present. Rob Demowski.
Here.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead, everybody else does, it's fine.
Demowitz.
Yeah.
Present. Steve Heyer is on his way. He will be here shortly. Jose Alaga, Matt Blau,
Here.
John Elney.
Here.
All right, so we have a quorum.
Okay, I guess we need a motion to appoint me as a chair, or somebody will make a motion.
Yeah, probably not a bad idea to just
Yeah.
have it just in case.
Yeah.
If someone on the board could make a motion to have Jose be acting chair for today, just to make that official, that would
I'll
be
make a
ideal.
motion to make Jose the acting chair for tonight's meeting.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, what we have for today, we need a motion to approve the agenda now. I make a motion to approve the agenda as presented. I need a second.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, good. So today we don't have any carryover or postpone, and we can go straight to regular business. Number one, we have the request approve the minutes for February 21st, 2024. John, we have the minutes here in the package. Is any?
Yep.
I guess it's.
Minutes from the last meeting.
Yeah. I believe I couldn't make it last time, but it seems like everything is good here. Any comments from board members?
No, I was
No?
not present as well, but,
I saw both of
looks
our
good.
names.
All right. I read them, it seemed accurate to me. I'll make a motion to accept.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, motion carry. So, two, request to approve the Comcast fiber connection contract. John Elke. John?
Yes, so this is a request to approve a new contract for a project that we had already approved by the board last November. For those that weren't at the last meeting in February, just to recap you on what happened with that situation. We had business all lined up to have us craft some new lines to replace our T1 lines that currently broadcast out to our AT&T encoders. AT&T is planning on shutting these lines down as they are trying to move away from them. That's a business decision that they made, and that's fine. But we need to replace the ones that we currently use from them before they shut them down. The company that we did reach out to replace these lines ended up canceling the project months in without notice to us until we contacted them, saying that it was cost prohibitive for them to do this project. So that required us to go out and find a new vendor. This vendor that is being presented to the board today is a recommendation from Steve Heyer, who's not here yet, but on his way. That he, after our last meeting, sent us over this information. So we got in contact with this group to see if they would be able to do this project. We explained a little bit of the situation that we're in and why we were looking for a new vendor at the time. I'll kind of get into a little bit of the numbers of it, and you can kind of see how this compares when we go into the budget review. But currently, what they're proposing to replace these lines is about $1,000 a month or $12,000 annually, what we'd be paying essentially to send our content to AT&T. We already pay that right now from a T1 line standpoint. We have that budgeted. We have a budget line for this. I can bring up the, so as you can kind of see in this MAFE, we currently budget $12,735. Right now, with a contract being proposed for 5 years, it'd be $12,000 annually. So we'd be saving a little bit of money moving forward with the new internet lines crafted and moving away from the T1 lines. And that's if we wanted to enter a 5-year contract. Obviously, if we choose to do a 3-year contract with this company, it does bump up to $13,200 annually or $1,100 a month. So there's more incentive to do the 5-year contract rather than the 3-year contract. Currently, from my recommendation, a 5-year contract seems reasonable. I have no reason not to do it away from the 3-year contract from this business. The one thing that was really nice with this company, and something that has kind of bitten us a little bit on this project, is if we decide to go and proceed with them moving forward with this project, they're going to waive the special construction fee that has caused other companies to cancel this project or not even take it on. They were very upfront and honest with us that they said it would take about 6 months to complete. So it is a big project to do. We haven't gotten that information in the past from previous contractors. So this is a company that, from recommendation, works with municipalities, so they kind of knew what questions we were looking for, and they knew how to answer them. So from my perspective, obviously, I brought forth the last one to you, and it didn't work out, so I'm going to bring forward another one to you in hopes that it does work out. But from everything that I've seen in talking with them, it seems like this is the fit that we've been looking for this project to replace the T1 lines. Now, currently, our T1 lines are still active. We are still broadcasting out to AT&T. It's not like we've lost service and are, kind of under the gun to get this project done. Do we want to get it done? Yes, because you don't want to be sitting there with everything shut off and then having to do all this. So this is a little bit of a preventative measure to make sure that we're set and ready for when that happens. And looking for the board, like I said, to approve this vendor for the project that was approved in 2023. So I'll be happy to answer any questions. I've also included some of the, as you see in the packet, just a little bit of the information sent over by the company, just detailing the project. So happy to answer any questions at this time regarding this vendor.
Any questions from board members?
I guess my first question would be, how old are the T1 lines we're using now from AT&T? Do you have any idea? They predate you, right?
They predate me. They might predate Matt as well down at the end there.
I have to assume, because we only put our head end at Clarkston schools when the merger took place. So I would have to assume those are going on about 11 years of age, because I can't imagine what they were there. They would have been there previously. So that'd be my guess.
Can you give us a thumbnail sketch of what the construction of a fiber line would be? What are we expecting them to do?
Sure. I can't give you a thumbnail sketch at this time as far as what the construction is. They need to come in and do a site review first before understanding fully of what they need to do. And I think that's where a lot of the other companies got hung up on, is they said they could do it and then completed a site review and realized that they could not. So once we have a site review from the company, and this is all waiting on pending board approval, so they weren't going to do a site review until we got board approval on this project. So once we get approval from the board, we can get a site review as far as what the construction's going to actually look like.
As it is right now, the T1 line runs from here to the township hall, is that correct?
I believe the T1 lines run...
I think they go right from the school to AT&T.
Yeah, the fiber runs from the schools to DPW to the township. So that's the connection we have there. The T1 lines, I believe, are a point from the school district to AT&T, and that was always the difficult part. And when AT&T originally reached out to us, they wanted us to replace the T1 lines with a fiber connection from the schools directly to their point of service, which is about 60 miles away. So
How many miles?
60, roughly. If memory serves me correct. I can look that up for you and get the exact numbers, but.
I remember it was a long distance and it was a lot of fiber. And then
Yeah.
we found a better, more affordable option.
Yes.
So Comcast obviously knew how much we were paying AT&T,
Yeah.
because they hit their number pretty much right there.
Pretty much, I mean, right, it's very comparable. So it was kind of, seemed like a easy sell from that standpoint. But yeah, they seems like they might have known.
Is there much competition in the T1 market or no?
That's a good question. David Hayward, who's on our board, might have some who's not here tonight, but he works in this kind of industry, and he and I have been talking back and forth through this project. From my understanding, I don't think there's too much competition. I think it's just because it includes copper in the wiring, and they want to get rid of all of that as they move forward with their business plan, from my understanding.
Yeah, there's not many people doing T1s anymore.
No.
Right.
Okay, any other questions? So I'm just checking for right now, but,
Well, can I move?
yeah, you
I
can make a
move
motion.
to approve the 5-year contract for Comcast of $1,000 monthly to provide a fiber connection to be used for sending Independence Television's content to AT&T.
Yeah, second,
Second.
okay. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carry. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Okay. Next is still you, so.
Yeah, so this is the big one. This is our budget our proposed budget, I should say, for 24-25, as you can see presented with you. You also notice to the left, we have our actuals through April 10th at this time. I will let you know, spending is shut off right now for the school district. So we have a few expenditures that are still coming out. We actually just got some new studio furniture. If you follow us on Instagram, you can get a sneak peek of our new furniture in the studio that we just received today. So that's not reflected in here, but this is just through April 10th. So I'm not going to touch base too much on our actuals for the year today, but wanted to make sure that you saw where we're sitting and kind of where we're at as we conclude our spending for 2023. So looking at the proposed budget for 24-25, there's not too much change that you're going to see from this proposed year to what was approved last year. There are a few changes that I'd like to walk through real quickly. So you notice the salary line going down from $3,500 to $2,000. This was a decision that was made. The salary lines there can kind of be deceiving, but what that is that pays our summer interns, our school employees essentially, that we have on staff. And the reason why we took it down from $3,500 to $2,000 is looking at it historically, we haven't come close to hitting that number. So at this time, we wanted to move a little bit of money out of the salary budget line, and I believe we're moving it into the T1 lines at this time. You'll kind of see an additional $1,000 being placed in that budget line, and that was in anticipation of the aforementioned budget item getting approved. So just in case that there's anything that comes in a little higher than anticipated, we have the budget line to accommodate that. Also kind of looking through, we did some minor adjustments in the capital costs. That's where our largest difference is going to be, especially when we're moving around numbers. Looking at the capital costs and equipment less than and greater than. The greater than is reserved mostly for our capital improvement projects, which we'll touch on in a little bit as far as what we anticipate to do. This last year we had a big project of replacing all of our desktop and laptop computers throughout the studio and for staff to use. So that was a really big project. This upcoming capital improvement project that we have planned is proposed to be replacement of classroom students use cameras. And I'll kind of go into that in detail in a little bit. But I wanted to just kind of touch base on the budget of what we're requesting. As you can kind of see from the net revenues, we're anticipating about a $38,000 plus right now that would go into our fund balance. You can see the fund balance down here as far as where we're projected to be and moving forward. But I'll touch base on that in a little bit as I go into further detail on some of these budget lines. So looking down at the notes kind of stay the same. We just updated the numbers from previous years. I am proposing to give a 3% salary increase to our production coordinator. This is a general cost of living increase that we like to continue to do for our staff to just make sure that they're valued and know that they're taken care of, hopefully, in that sense. So looking through those numbers, that's where you'll kind of see down here in the notes from the 3% salary increase. That's all going to be in this edge of staff or purchase service line up here That's where that is included. So at this time, I'll take any questions on the proposed 24-25 budget before I jump into the capital improvement project and a small presentation on, I believe it's supplies and materials this year.
Any questions from board members? No? Matt, you're okay?
I'm good.
Okay.
Okay. Somebody-
Thank you. We'll jump into the CIP here, and that's kind of what I was talking about with the budget line of greater than 5,000. As you'll kind of see over this past year, 23-24, that was updating all of the computers. We budgeted 35 for that. We were at 34. I believe we did a budget amendment as well as an additional $5,000. We moved it over from the equipment less than this year, and that was simply just to give us a little bit extra room because we were nudging close to that projected budget line. So just in case anything came in last minute, we wanted to make sure that we still had enough room in our budget line. We also were going to try and budget a little extra for the T1 project that we thought was going to happen this year, but it didn't, so that's okay. But that as you can see, we've done a really good job of budgeting our projects and making sure that we're still coming under budget of what we're projected. So looking at the next year, we have a budgeted $20,000 that's updated for student cameras. And as you see here in the note, key E, which means we changed the year. So the reason why we wanted to change this year with studio set and furniture, these are the ones we swapped out from our 5-year plan here, is we've had a few of the classroom cameras break this past year, so we're kind of getting down low in numbers as far as classroom cameras to use. So we found it a need to move this project up further in our projected capital improvement project so we could replace the cameras that were broken, but also take the time to just replenish the entire fleet that we have. So this became more of a necessity than we wanted to, but it was still on our capital improvement project list for the 5 years. So that's what I'm proposing right now, is to change that capital improvement project line, simply just moving it from 24-25 or 26-27 to 24-25, and moving studio sets and furniture back a few years because at this time it's not as a pressing need. So as you'll see at the end as well, at 27-28, I have a desired goal, and this might not happen or not, but I wanted to put it on there just to kind of give it a little push. But to update our van, which we will own in the next few years. We currently lease it, but we're nearing the point of where we will own it, which is great because it is a 2020 van and it has 1,000 miles on it. You can't buy a vehicle that great right now that doesn't have that much wear and tear on it, and it's served us very well for what we needed to do. We don't use it that much, though, in all honesty. We use it for when we need it, which is great. So I wanted to add on the end of it, end of our capital improvement project, is to update the production van. And what I mean by that is to outfit it to allow us to broadcast from on location more and easier. So providing power and internet into the van where we can do live productions from the van, and we're no longer looking for power across, you know, streets and everything like that, and relying on our wonderful board members to provide us internet for our live events as well. Not that that's not appreciated, but we like to make sure that we are well fit and ready for the future. What that does is it potentially opens us up for hopefully some more projects down the road. But it's just something that, as a staff, we've kind of talked about as pie in the sky. That seems like something that'd be really great one day. We've heard of different community media stations that have done that. I believe Waterford is one example that has their own production van that's outfitted at this time. So that's added on to the end of the capital improvement project list. I could see that potentially changing based on needs as we approach that year a little. As we get closer, if anything does pop up, that is probably going to be the one that falls off first. But as I said, we wanted to put it on there and start exploring that possibility. So looking at the capital improvement project plan, this is what I have for you to approve tonight as well, with the added project for another 5 years, but also the change in year of a few different projects. It was also pointed out to me by our budget analysts at the township, Rick Yeager, that we should start doing a 10-year capital improvement plan. this predates me, so I don't know if this is something that Independence Television has done, is always a 5-year. If that's something we have done, that's great. It was just suggested to us that we do that. So I wanted to bring that to the board's attention as well, that if we needed to change that moving forward, if not, if that's something that we specifically do in our realm, that's fine too. But just wanted to bring that up as a point of information. So any questions regarding the capital improvement plan at this time?
Any questions from board members? No?
It's not exactly the capital improvement. When you talk about upfitting the truck,
Mm-hmm.
is there a specific company that does?
There are specific,
Decision about what you want the truck to do.
sure.
I mean, does Little Hunter know somebody downtown?
Yeah. It'd be great. I'll have to ask Hunter if he does know somebody downtown. There are companies that do outfit vans and trucks like that for those specific reasons. There's a few people that I've been in talks with that we might be able to start exploring that possibility of these companies, but I haven't scratched the surface too much on that yet, as this was really, like I said, it was kind of a dream at one point. So before we really get too much into it, I wanted to not look.
The virtue of the van is that it's so low mileage.
Mhm.
And it's got a really long window of usability. And the station had a van many years ago, and it was so disused that it was sold practically for junk, and it only had a few thousand miles on it. That was many years ago, but we don't want to see that happen again.
Yes.
And so it presents a great opportunity to make the productions in the field go a lot faster.
Yeah.
Make everything really lickety split to have it, have the truck ready to roll.
And up to date.
And if you already own it, that's a big advantage, I think.
So on this truck note, I mean, the internet in the truck is probably not any special thing. Like, I probably wouldn't suggest fixing whatever portable internet solution we're gonna come up with to the van, because you may use it when you didn't bring the van.
Right, yes.
So I think you want some flexibility there, but I mean, is this as easy as like getting a generator in the meantime?
It very well could be, getting a generator in the meantime to supplement the power and everything like that. That'd be a good stopgap to outfit it to allow us to do that production work. But I guess looking long term, we haven't run into an issue where we really have been stretched for power whenever we're on location. Ideally, it would just be to allow us to not have to worry about it moving forward. So getting a generator to supplement the project at the time could be something we could do. If we choose, like looking at this project, it is something that we could add to it to make it a little bit more usable, I guess, or depending on cost as well. Like if the cost to do all of this outweighs the benefit of having it, that would probably be another solution that we can bring up at that time to make that a little more viable.
Yeah, I wonder, in kind of an RV retrofit where maybe it would draw gas from the gas tank, and it's more automatic where you flip a switch and it comes on. And
Sure, that.
The cost difference from that to like buying a Honda ultra quiet generator might be like 5 figures.
Sure,
Right?
yeah.
And so, in terms of getting you the flexibility, I mean, if we're going to spend a couple few $1,000s on a generator, I mean, we can do that right now.
Sure, yeah.
We don't have to wait. And so I guess I would task you with, hey, what does that look like? And, if we're thinking, this is going to be useful, like we can't wait, years for the portable internet solution. If we're going to do that and make this more functional, and if those things move, that might even provide us more flexibility to where, maybe we don't need the actual van there, for the production, but we could use it with the van.
Yeah, no, that's a
So-
good point to look into. Yeah, we'll make sure to do that when we start exploring this. It'd be great.
But
great idea.
for some of those things, like, I wouldn't want to necessarily wait. If we're talking about some small budget, items that may not even make it to the capital level of about 5,000, like, I would say if we can use it in the next year, like, we should explore that.
Okay, yeah, we can definitely explore that with the upcoming budget to see if it's something that we can do to add on to the van now to make those location broadcasts just a little easier on our staff. well noted in of how difficult we've had of a time of broadcasting live downtown Clarkston. I'm not sure if we're cursed or if it's just part of it, but it's always a different bugaboo. So it's something that we've put thought into, and that's somewhat why that this one got added on. But we can certainly look into that moving forward with our 24-25 budget to see if we can't find any solutions for that.
Yeah, if it's functional, you're going to use it more.
Right.
So,
And I don't know if this would open up other opportunities for us to do more live shooting in different places, but.
I think that was the intent, is to make us a little bit more available for more live on-location events. Currently, like, we can do some, but we can't do too many because it requires so much staff and planning ahead of time. So if we have something like this that's ready to go, it does make us a little bit more available for that stuff, yes.
And this is really outdoor kind of events, right? Like if
Yes.
we're indoor somewhere, like we're probably, I mean, there's power, there's internet. I mean, we're not really running into this. It's really the outdoor events.
Correct,
that
yes.
We struggle with this with.
Yep.
If it eliminates one power cord and being kicked out by the casual pedestrian, I think that would really enhance the production quality if the cord doesn't get kicked out.
And, I mean, even if, I'm sure, if you're, downtown seems to be the biggest challenge, right? If you're downtown, you plug into some random outlet and the breaker trips, it'd be nice to have a backup opportunity anyway to say, hey, we can get this back online. Let's go over here to our system. And I don't think we're talking about too much power. I don't know how many amps you need to run.
No,
this
it's
whole
not
thing,
too much
but,
power that we typically require, so it's not a huge amount, but yeah, you're right, it is.
20 amps will probably do it, right? So, I mean, that's like really simple to get done.
We could buy a battery for $200 or $300 that just carry the battery around.
We'll probably need a little more than that, but soon.
Any other questions regarding the capital improvement plan at this time?
I don't know that, we're doing this over 5,000, under 5,000, because that's the way the township does things. Like, as far as the school is concerned, we have no such requirement, in terms of that. So I don't think we have any, like GASB requirements at how we do this. I mean, these are not big ticket items. They're what the biggest one on here is,
I think it was 35.
35 grand. So, in the context of what we're doing, they're all small ticket items. I mean, I think from a planning standpoint, it'd be nice to know, what our refresh cycle is and, what we're planning to spend. Like, from a budgeting standpoint, I don't think we need to go into that in level of detail.
Right.
If we know, hey, we're going to buy a TriCaster every 8 years or something, I think, we're going to replace cameras on a 5-year cycle. Like, I think that sort of replacement cycle for all the different pieces of equipment we have would be just great to know and understand, and then saying, hey, what are we fitting into this next year's budget or even the next two? I think that's fine.
Okay, yeah, we can certainly add that in and look at our equipment and kind of do a reevaluation as far as where we're at with the lifespan of all those. It's a good idea.
And I think, we'll have to make some joint decisions as, we talk about PEG fees and legislation and external factors as we go forward here, right? Like, we'll have to make some decisions on, if things start to get challenging, like where do we want to be and what are we gonna, sort of buckle down on to get there. And, equipment is one of the big things that, there's not particularly money elsewhere for that kind of stuff. So, if we may prioritize, hey, we might be able to fund operations elsewhere. We're going to fund equipment through our, PEG fees, in the traditional way. So that may change as well. And I want to make sure we have the flexibility to adapt to those external factors.
Any other questions?
All right, lastly, from the budget standpoint, I just have a small...
Wait, do we still need to have someone approve?
Yeah.
So move
I have
to
one more
approve.
thing before the budget, if that's okay, and then we can go into approvals if that's all right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sorry. This is just a breakdown of the budget from a number standpoint. So looking at it for at least the 8th year in a row, you'll see what we contribute to our fund balance. which is great. We're projected to reach over $550,000 in the school fund balance this 24-25. As noted earlier, we'll be adding a little additional funds to our telephone budget line, which is our T1 line for the fiber project that we have coming up, and also looking at increasing the production coordinator salary by 3%. So this is a breakdown of our budget as far as where everything is going, from capital costs, operating, labor, and our fund balance for the 24-25 proposed budget. So these are the factors contributing to the budget this year. As of 23, the fund balance at the township is at $412,576. It's an increase of $5,237 from last year, and with that $537.05 at the schools, we have a total of $949,626 for a fund balance between the two entities. Looking at PEG fees, we actually saw an increase this past year from 22 to 23. This was only due to budgeting too low for expected income. So it wasn't that we received more PEG fees. Rick over at the township has been very aggressive in his expectations for the lowering of PEG fees each year, which is great to have in this situation. You'd rather guess too low than too high in this situation. But it was a little bit, higher than what he anticipated. So we did receive a little bit more than what we thought we would. And also this year we were able to raise just a shy under $2,000 from the summer media camp that we did this past summer. So last year I kind of broke down a line item of the budget just to explain a little bit about what goes into it. So this year I wanted to kind of break down operating costs, supplies, and materials, just because it can be a little ambiguous as far as what that term is. So I just wanted to show you some of the items that we use from this budget line so you know what's being purchased and why. So looking at it, we actually purchased a little bit more in promotional items. As you all remember, our wonderful foam footballs that we used at the Taste of Clarkston event, we went through 4imprint, which I believe we've used in the past from Independence Television for promotional materials. They were a huge hit at the event. We ran out of all of them before the event was even over. And it was a unique item that not many people had at this event. It had our logo on it. It was kind of a nice giveaway for us to do. So we're going to be looking at doing some more stuff like that in the future, but for the unique situation where we had an actual table at this event, we found it necessary to make sure that we had some promotional materials to pass out for the full day that we were there. You'll see a lot of expenses here to B&H Photo. That's a preferred vendor that we use for a lot of our smaller supply items. So nothing that really is tasked under the less than 5,000, but these kind of are a lot of replacement items that can be purchased quickly. So as you kind of see, we purchased a replacement coaxial cable that we had one break on us earlier in the year, so we had to replace that. There's some adapters that we purchased for the new laptops that were already purchased, but because everything's changed over from traditional USB to USB-C, a lot of the stuff that we use is still USB, so we had to buy adapters for just the laptops at this time. We will be buying adapters for the desktops, but we got those a little late, so we have to wait and see what they have available. We'll also see down here is a replacement of a Blackmagic Web Designer. This is the second time we've actually had to replace this item out in as many years. I'm not sure if both had just kind of reached their end of life, but we have noticed that after a nice power surge at the school, everything pops on except our Blackmagic, stream box after each time. So it's something that we've been monitoring and trying to figure out different solutions of how to protect this device a little bit more when we do have power surges or power outages, just to make sure that we're getting the full benefit of this equipment. And you'll see this last line throughout the year. This is Kroger and Big Lots. This is pretty much just used for general supplies. We also buy a lot of drinks for the kids throughout the year because they're working during their dinner time. So we make sure that we have food and drink available for them in the studio before they put on the production. So we usually go out, and if this is like batteries, or as you'll see, we replace some storage bins for what we use for our in-school productions that carry a lot of our audio and video equipment throughout the school. So as it kind of states, supplies and materials, operating costs, it is a lot of different supplies and materials, but I just wanted to give you a little bit closer look as far as what we're actually purchasing throughout the year. As you can look at that number and kind of gloss over it a little bit and be like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. But just wanted to break down, like I said, a little bit in more detail as far as what we try to purchase through this budget line each year. And this is kind of what you can expect moving forward as far as the items that would be in here. So this is totaling as of April 1st. So the budget that you saw earlier, that was reflective of April 10th. So this number is going to be a little different. So, a little outdated at this time. So we talked about this already with the 5-year capital improvement plan. So I won't stress on this too much, but this is just detailing the different projects that we have going here. I will say with the studio set and furniture, we did just purchase a new studio set and furniture this year, which is great. So we have a projected budget still of $20,000. So we're actually going to be looking at expanding what that means as far as studio set and furniture. We might be looking to expand our green screen graphics for virtual sets as well as that year, along with maybe some different furniture that we can rotate in and out, so the one set that we do have isn't constantly taking the wear and tear of not only the students but the public that come in and use it as well. So that made it a good opportunity for this one to be moved back a little bit, to move student cameras up. As stated earlier, that is more of a need at this time. So that's kind of what we're looking for from the 5-year capital improvement plan. Capital costs, we touched on this a little bit last year, but wanted to touch on this a little bit again. These are the items that we're looking to purchase out of the equipment less than $5,000 in the next 5 years. So these are some of the items that we as a staff have identified, things that we will be buying in the next little bit, but just wanted to detail a little bit more for our board as far as what we're looking to purchase from this line item. So with the new cameras comes new tripods. Once we replace our fleet of cameras, we will want to kind of replace the tripods that we have in-house in the studio. It just kind of makes sense. The tripods, they have their wear and tear as well. From our perspective, it's a smart decision to replace both at the same time. Laptop bags, we with the new laptops purchased with the staff, we wanted to make sure that we could create little mobile kits for our staff. So if they are editing from on location, they can just take up a laptop bag that's gonna have a laptop, mouse, all of the adapters in it. Anybody on staff can just kind of pick one of those up and grab it and go. So we wanted to make sure that we had those mobile units, I guess you could say, more readily available for our staff to use on location when editing. Hotspot for broadcasts on live location. This is something that we've touched on many times, but it's something that we're still looking into to purchase and replace and make sure that we have something in-house to use. UPS for the studio, as I said, with the power outages that we do experience at the school, it would be nice to just have a UPS on hand. I don't believe there is one in there when we updated the studio. We have one in the back room with our cable boxes and everything, but we don't have one in the studio. So this would just give us a little bit more assurance in case we lost power during a broadcast that everything pops back on right away. Studio decorations for live sets, as talked about a little earlier. Facilis upgrade. So this, for those that don't know, Facilis is our external hard drives that we use to edit off of and store all of our media and everything like that. We don't usually keep anything really on our laptops or our desktops just because it slows everything down when we do keep so much media on there. So currently we have a Facilis that we use that's really, really wonderful to operate with out of the studio, but with all of the upgrades that we are doing to the computers, to the TriCaster in the last few years, Facilis will need to be upgraded as well to kind of keep up with those operating systems. We're also kind of nearing a lot of storage space, I guess you could say, with the current Facilis that we have. So it would be nice to kind of upgrade that at the time too, to just give us a little bit more space and maybe reevaluate some of the things that we're restoring and kind of do a clean house situation on some items that we don't need. So this is something that we've I've talked with our vendors a few times over the last few years and gotten a few quotes, but for whatever reason, it just wasn't in the cards to kind of get done at that time. But this is something that we're kind of putting on higher notice at this moment to replace in the next year or so. But in lavalier mics as well, it's just as we upgrade our cameras, which is another CIP project and something we've been doing steadily, the need for more adaptable lavalier microphones for our newer cameras is something that we're finding a little bit more of a need too. So they're a little bit more expensive, but they're, you know, something that we're looking to improve our productions with. So these are just like I said, some of the ideas that we have from capital costs in the next year or so that we'd like to explore as far as purchasing. Looking at the fund balance, as I said, this is just the school side since what we're looking at, but we had a 4.1% increase in 2024, and looking at 25 and 26, we still will see an increase moving forward with our fund balance. It's something that as I've said in the past, is very top of mind for our department to contribute to our fund balance. As Steve brought up earlier, there is uncertainty as far as how our department will be funded moving forward, so we want to make sure that we can take the proper precautions in the ways that we can to save money while we can. Just in case anything happens where the rug's pulled out from under us and we have to look to survive. So by doing so, we want to make sure that we're still contributing to our fund balance and making sure that it's healthy enough for a potential doomsday. Not saying that that day will ever come, but if it does, we want to make sure that we're somewhat prepared. And I say somewhat because even with a number like 597 or 559, it's only 2.5 years at most. So that's not, astronomical number or anything like that. That gets us 2.5 years, which is great, but it's not foolproof. So every year moving forward, we will be looking to still contribute to our fund balance. As I've stated in the past, we've kind of been conservative in our spending to make sure that we still spend towards our fund balance. We were a little bit different at that this year, but we're still able to contribute, I think, a healthy amount to our fund balance, just to, like I said, make sure that we're healthy not only for next year, but the years moving forward. So that's one of my primary goals with this budget, is to make sure that we're looking at the future to make sure that we have sufficient funds to operate as long as we can if funding is at zero for 1 year, for whatever reason. So that's my budget presentation with everything from the capital improvement project to the proposed 2024-25 budget. And I know that was a lot of information, so I appreciate your time kind of walking through a lot of those notes. At this time, I'll take any questions as far as the budget, the capital improvement plan, or anything that was presented in the presentation.
Okay, I think we already,
I guess my only question to capital improvement is, there's a lot of content you're storing. You talked about going through and cleaning all that stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any sort of redundancy built in?
Redundancy build in what manner?
So that,
Backup
let's say
files?
this, backup for the storage.
Oh yeah, so yep, so we have backup. We have a hard drive backup, but we also have a cloud backup on Dropbox currently. So and that's specifically for meetings that we do. So any meetings that we record, we back up on Facilis, but we also upload a backup on Dropbox as well. So if anything happened in the schools where our physical hard drive was destroyed, we have the backup of all of our historical content on web to access.
And also, I believe there's a website, I think it's called webarchive.org or something like that, that I think was defaultedly set to archive certain elements of our YouTube channels. So even most, if not all our stuff on YouTube also kind of gets backed up somewhere else as well.
okay. Okay. Any other questions? No? We are ready to make a motion? Okay,
I motion to approve.
okay.
Second?
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Next.
All right. I appreciate your time and approving the budget. It's a lot of work on our staff, and I don't take lightly how much time our board puts into looking over those numbers and asking really great questions. So I just thank you very much for taking that time and looking over our budget, it means a lot to me. I'll go through our quarterly update now. This is our production update. I'm going to kind of breeze through this a little quickly. As I said at our last meeting, February to April, it's a little hard to kind of gauge as far as what we do because there's, it's our slower period, if I'm being completely honest. So not much has changed from February to April, but I will highlight a lot of what we have going on. There's some great things that we have been able to do as a staff. So looking at serving the community, as stated at our last meeting, we're still in that process of finding a way to send a widescreen HD signal to our cable channels that will also be used on our streaming channels. We're working with Key Code Media right now on this project where we did get our stream boxes and they are up live. You can watch our live broadcast, everything that's broadcast on cable on our website at independencetelevision.com. It is the 4x3 version of what we're sending out to cable. And as we kind of dug deeper into why that was, it appears that when Cablecast was set up, it was set up at a 4:3 resolution because at the time we didn't have the need to send out an HD or widescreen signal anywhere. So they set it up to have a 4:3 resolution sent out. So currently Key Code is looking into different ways of how we can, we thought it was going to be really easy of just flipping a switch going from 4:3 to 1080, and we tried it and it didn't work. So we have to kind of dig in a little bit closer as far as what's causing the problem of why that 4:3 or the 1080 signal is being downgraded to 4:3 throughout our process. So this is a deeper look in kind of the schematics of our back room currently to kind of reevaluate the equipment we have in there, maybe upgrading our encoders that we do to Comcast and AT&T to allow I would say HD, but a 1080 widescreen picture being sent out. Currently, we have to downgrade anything that we put out through our cable channels. We shoot in 4K right now for a lot of stuff. 1080 at a bare minimum, and that is all downgraded to standard definition to be broadcast across the cable channels. So this is a larger project that's going to take some time, but last I checked in with Key Code on this, they said they're still kind of racking their brain as far as looking through the diagram of our back room to see what we have. They originally brought some equipment for us to try out to see if it would work, and unfortunately what they did bring, it didn't work for our situation. So we're still currently working in this process, is trying to, now that we have those stream boxes, again, with a lot of these upgrades that we're doing, it's slightly causing some problems that now we have to upgrade a lot of other things that we had built in. So it's a nice problem to have because we're taking steps towards where I think we should be, but it's just going to take a little bit longer time than what I wanted to happen. So looking at the live section as well, we're preparing for a lot of large live events coming up in May especially, but we have some more that I'll detail a little later. But Clarkston Community Awards, it's one of our big ones. We'll hopefully see a lot of you guys there, nice bright and early on a Wednesday morning. Matt Legato is currently working on a lot of the videos that will be played during those meetings or that award ceremony. Got a quick sneak peek of all of that earlier. He's doing a great job at it. So I'm really excited for our staff to kind of do that event. We did a good job last year, and there's no doubt in my mind we'll do another nice job this year. So that's in May that we have coming up. And online, you can look at independencetelevision.com. We had 702 page views in March since our last meeting in February. We also launched our registration for our 2024 Summer Media Camp on our website during spring break. We thought that was a good time to reach out to parents that might have had enough time with their kids during spring break and to remind them of another camp coming up that they can send their kids to. So it was wonderful. As of April 10th, we had 5 registered, 3 that attended last year, and then 2 came to our Movie in the Park and saw our camp on site and signed up that way. So we're already at 5 this year as of April, which is great. We were at 10 last year, so kind of halfway of where we were last year. So still hoping we'll have a lot more pushing of that information out as we kind of get closer to summertime and everything like that. But that is in July, and I'll touch on that a little later. So staffing changes. As you'll kind of see here, this is bittersweet for me, but it really speaks to the program and what we wanted to accomplish when we set this together 10 years ago, or over 10 years ago. As you'll kind of see, Hunter, Kevin, and Hannah all found full-time jobs in the video production fields beginning in January. Kevin's a temp right now, but it's a temp towards a full-time job, hopefully. So he's out in Grand Rapids. Hunter is in Lansing, and then Hannah's still in town here, but she's also the studio manager at Inner Circle in Clarkston. So she still works with us. It's just in a more limited role than what she was doing before due to the increase of her new job. As I said, it's exactly what you kind of want to see with this program. You know, Kevin and Hunter went through the media program with Matt, interned with us, went to college, got their first full-time jobs. So we're starting to see some of the original students that went through this program, went to college, and are starting to get their first opportunity in the video production field. So it's fantastic to kind of see this program do exactly what we want it to do, and that's give people the opportunities to start their careers in video production, and we're starting to see that a little bit more. So with these two particularly leaving, we had some upgrades, not upgrades, staffing changes. But as I mentioned before, Jean Marie, or Jeannie, she's started with us earlier this year in December. She's been a rock star for us from the standpoint of recording meetings. She's very much available. She's helped us out with live productions in this room. She has a great thirst for knowledge to grow in video production, and she's been just absolutely wonderful to work with. So she's been doing our city council meetings, and she took over the library board meetings for Hannah after she vacated that role. So looking forward to see Jeannie grow in the production assistant 1 position. And as you see, Ben here, production assistant 2, he just joined us not too long ago. He saw our ad in the paper for a production assistant. He was working for MIT TV in Romeo, but wanted something a little closer as he lives in Holly. So he approached us. He's got in-studio experience. He does live experience. He has experience in creating promotional videos. It's a little different what they do in Romeo than what we do here, so there is a little bit of a learning curve, but he just started with us not too long ago, and he's taken off. He did 2 weekend assignments for us just this month. In his first few videos, we're actually popping out pretty soon of some event coverages he's done. He's done meeting coverages for us, and you'll see him on the 26th for his first Michigan Moment taping that he did. So he's got on-camera experience as well. So excited that Ben got to join us as well. More particularly excited that he had some community television experience, so he could step in pretty quickly and help us out in a need. So that was right when Hunter left. As we said, we're very excited for Hunter. He's been grinding a long time to get that job. So I'll touch base on the public side. This is a testament to Matt Legato in the back. I just wanted to give him more props on this. We talked about it earlier, but just for your knowledge, we were invited to a ribbon cutting for Woodland Airstream, and this wasn't a chamber event. Typically we get ribbon cuttings for chamber events, but Matt actually went into this business and did a groundbreaking video for them the year prior, and then when they had the ribbon cutting, they called him and said, hey, we want you guys back for the ribbon cutting. We love the video. So it was just a testament to the great job that he initially did on the video to get a call back and continue and expand a relationship with a business in town. So also wanted to touch base on the public side with the podcast. Still continuing great success with this, Connecting Clarkston. They're one of our great champions, I guess you could say, in the community. They're very vocal about the resource that we are for the community, and they're so much connected with so many people throughout the community. So as you can kind of see with some of the more recent updates from season 2, we got to talk with a shoe designer that lives in town that has worked for Adidas, turned down Nike many times and did Converse and stuff like that, and they live here. You wouldn't have known. So it's just great to kind of meet some of these different people across the community, and they're also connecting us to them. So they're, like I said, they're a great champion for our organization across the community, and always sharing what we can do and how we help them out. So that's still continuing strong. We'll finish up a new episode for them in the next week or so, and then they're coming back in at the end of May to record another episode, and we'll actually be a part of their Clarkstonopoly release. As Independence Television was included in the game as a chance card. So if you see that game out and about, Independence Television will be a chance card. And Matt can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I believe it's a chance and you lift it up and it's chance you missed the big game, don't worry, Independence TV recorded it and has your back. Advance to such and such. So it's kind of a fun involvement into the community, and they were instrumental in making sure that we were a part of that. So I'll talk briefly here on the education. I'll pass it over to Matt, but as you can kind of see here, we transitioned into spring sports recently. I believe we've had three lacrosse games. There might be more if I'm incorrect. But along with that, 2 school board meetings, and we were working on a feature with the music department that's getting pulled on hold though right now. So in February, we had students pitch the media program to other students out in the hallway. Again, big kudos to Matt Legato, who did this setup for the students, where we set up a green screen in the hallway, a camera, and a monitor so people could walk by and it looked like they're in a waterfall. And it was very eye-catching for the students, but just something that was unique to us, and we got to kind of showcase what we do. So the classroom computers arrived. We're going to be installing all that new equipment during the summertime. So once fall comes back, all the students will have brand new computers. But I'll hand it over to Matt to talk more about the school program.
Sure. Just gonna move this mic here. Yeah, basically we're wrapping up our sports season. We did a couple of lacrosse games, basketball games this semester. We got Clarkston Area Youth Awards tomorrow night. Next week we got the Senior Awards. And after that, our seniors only have 2 weeks left at that point. So we're kind of wrapping things up there. Obviously still always looking, I mean, the event from that picture is just trying to make sure people know about the courses and sign up. I'm always hopeful to get more students sign up for the classes, maybe even get some 9th graders over to Clarkston High School. Aside from that, obviously we're still figuring out numbers for next year, but they are going to have me, currently I teach media production and PM TV, and I also teach Theater Arts 1 and Theater Arts 2. Next year we're going to also try a technical theater arts class and kind of a third media class called Advanced Media Study. It's what the state kind of calls a Q class. Basically, it's for those students that have already taken the other 2 classes but still hunger to do some media stuff. They have that opportunity to kind of do a more intentioned independent study and kind of continue through that. Also looking into maybe some work study stuff, possibly with ITV or some other places. But yeah, overall we're wrapping up. Again, seniors got less than 4 weeks. I think the rest of the school year has about 7, so been telling a few students, hey man, just a couple more weeks. We just got to stick the landing here. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Thank you. Okay.
Moving on to the government side, we were able to assist broadcasting the State of the Township here in April. It was a joint effort between the Township and School District held here, which was a great opportunity for us to kind of use our brand new equipment that was put in at the school district for that event. So that made things much easier on our end to be able to kind of use that and use this facility and use it how it was intended. Looking at the department videos, as you see at the bottom, the fire department video that we posted in March, it's nearing 600 views on YouTube after being published, like I said, a little over a month ago. The assessing video is nearing 300 views, which is great for that new series of the department focused videos. And this photo up here, as you'll see, we are able to record an event over at the Senior Center as well that they had for Women's History Month. That was just something a little different, but a nice community event they were able to assist throughout. So touching base on social media, we began experimenting by sharing our videos on Reels on Facebook. This is something that we've found success with on Instagram. So we're just taking the content that we have and trying to find the appropriate venue for it or platform for it. So just experimenting a little bit as far as how we share our stuff across the social channels. Just touching on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Our highest reaching post for Facebook was our advertisement for summer camp. It was reaching 775 accounts, which is great. We'll have obviously more promotion going out for that as we get closer to the summer, as said. Profile visits for Instagram increased across our page since February by 39%. And then, as a reminder with YouTube, we do manage a lot of different channels, but this one's just specifically for Independence Television, which doesn't house our live events and everything. That's Clarkston Community Schools. We can certainly dive more into those numbers at a further meeting. But ITV's page gained 21 subscribers since February 21st. And with our latest Michigan Moment series video, it popped back up over 100 views again. So those were consistently around 20, 30 views. Now we're seeing them consistently, hopefully getting over 100, which is kind of nice for that series to pick up a little steam. So as I say at each meeting, it's one of my favorite ones. I'm very happy with staff. They put such hard work into it, Matt in particular. And it's nice to see them semi-rewarded with some higher viewership numbers and increasing viewership numbers for that program. So as Matt kind of touched on, this is already outdated. So, but what's up next? So May 1st we have Women in Business along with the Youth Awards that we have going on. We have the Clarkston Community Awards on May 8th that our staff will be at, and then June 1st we're at graduation. So we've got
it's June 3rd.
June 3rd? June 3rd. Thank you. So we are very much in our busy season coming up these next few days, next few weeks, particular with all of the school events that are going to be coming, wrapping up. Not to mention we have our military signing day that we'll be doing nestled in there too. So we will be in a lot of different spots all across, and looking forward to it. So with that, any questions? Camp. Remember, camp.
I don't have a question, but I have a comment. I want to thank all of you because you've done a great job. This partnership between the township and the schools is working great. And those videos that you are putting from assessing department and fire department are well, received by the community, because a lot of people didn't know what actually is entail the fire department. Because of those videos, now when you Google it and want to look what the fire department or what the department of assessing do, they got more details, more info, how that works, how they value the properties and all that. And I think we're going to continue doing that, and I think it's a great tool for our community. Besides, the stay of the township was very nice. I mean, I don't know why we have a lot of townships, water for Orion, everybody surrounds us. They do once a year the stay of the township, where the supervisor and the local leaders give us an update. We didn't have that, and thanks to John, we put something together with the TV station and with the partnership with the school, with Dr. Ryan and the support of the board. And thank you, Steve, as well. We did that, and again, that was something positive for our community. We have been improving a lot every year, and thanks all of you for your work and dedication, as well as the members here. Thank you, because I know you're taking a time away from families to be here and making decisions to improve our community. That's all for today from me. Anyone else?
Well stated.
Okay. All right, I guess moving on, we can go for public comments. Members of the public, or anyone who would like to address something? No? Okay. All right. Board member comments.
I have a few. Just, I know I've spoken a lot today, and I apologize, so I'll keep this brief. But I wanted to inform everybody as far as an update on the bill in Lansing. As you can kind of see with my attire, dressed a little nice today. I didn't mean to. As I told, it might have been setting precedent that I didn't want to set. So, but that was because I was in Lansing this morning because there was a hearing for the bill. I believe it was H9 3965. The Netflix bill that we've been talking about. So it was simply discussion today, which was good. So no vote was taking place, but a vote could be imminent as far as next week or proceeding. So they heard, the Senate Oversight Committee today heard from the representative who's proposed the bill, they heard from DirecTV who supports the bill, and then they heard from a number of municipalities who oppose the bill and organizations who oppose the bill. I could count probably close between 20 and 30 organizations and municipalities across the state of Michigan that all opposed the bill, which was really great to see. We had representatives from Grand Rapids, ourselves, in the audience that were able to, voice displeasure for this. And I don't have any information as far as where that stands at this point. We'll have information hopefully in the next week or so as whether or not this bill is going to get killed, if it's going to move forward, and that's kind of unnerving. But the positive I wanted to bring to our board is the overwhelming support that I think that not only our community has shown for Independence Television, between the school districts, between the township, Springfield Township even wrote in a letter of opposition for this, as we're their community television station. It was really humbling to kind of see all of that and to be a part of that today, to see so many municipalities outright voice their opinion. And not only that, the members of the Oversight Committee heard all of that today, and they said, hey, My constituents are all in opposition of this. Why should we be looking at this right now? If so many of these municipalities and these people are this upset about this bill, why are we looking at this? And that was really nice to hear, especially in that forum. It is still up in the air. You know, we don't know how this is going to go, but given from what I did hear from the Oversight Committee today, I am slightly positive that at least this bill will get relooked at. So the language of video service providers is updated to kind of move along with how video service is provided now. It was originally written and intended for cable television. That's no longer the case anymore. Now it's streaming, and we need to adapt to those changes as a community. And I'm happy that the Senate Oversight Committee said, yeah, we need to look at those that language as well and adapt with it rather than simply pass this bill through quickly. So I'm hopeful that we have good news to share on this bill in the next week or so. Our friends in Lansing, I guess you could say, informed me that they will be keeping us in touch as far as how everything's progressing with the Senate Oversight Committee and what we can expect moving forward. So they said traditionally once a hearing is held, a vote is held the next week. So we had our hearing today, Wednesday. So traditionally we should be looking at a vote next week. But they said it's all going to depend if they decide to vote against it or just outright kill the bill after hearing so many displeasures today. So just big thanks to Steve Heyer, Jose Aliaga, Jennifer Spiegel over at the township, Dr. Ryan, Heidi. I was informed this was taking place on Friday for Wednesday, so a lot of people acted quickly to make sure that our voices were heard in our community. So just wanted to give you a heads up and a big thanks to all that helped out.
Thank you, John. Anyone else?
I guess I'd make a comment about the Wood Street event. Was very, very well done. A lot of legibility. All the content was good. It looked like everybody who was there got a piece of the camera. It was well done. But I didn't actually see who the caterer was. I did wonder how good the food was at that event. But it was thorough enough that the entire event showed indeed everything, including the luncheon. And it was really well done. I thought he did a great job. Great job, man.
Thank you. All right, I guess I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Thank you.